So one of the most common questions we get is in regards to image compression for the web. Now, any content you're putting online, whether it be a still image, an audio file, or a movie, they all need to be compressed so they can be viewed and downloaded quickly. The key is finding a balance between a small file size and maintaining the resolution of your image so it still looks clear and vibrant to the viewer. So I've got a few shots here from a photo shoot we did recently, and I'm just going to go ahead and open up one of these in Photoshop. So here we have our image. And if we go back to the Finder, we'll see that it's sitting at 8 megabytes, which is an okay file size if you're going to be downloading a document, but if you're viewing it directly on a web page, that's far too large. So Photoshop makes file compression quite easy for us. Under the File menu, we've got an option called Save for Web and Mobile Devices. This was specially designed to compress images down to view on your website and on mobile phones, that sort of thing. The downside to it is that it really takes away the saturation and contrast of your image, so we'll have to adjust accordingly for that. The first thing I'm going to do, however, is adjust my image size to what I'll be working with online. So I'm going to go to Image and Image Size, and here at the top we've got the width and height displayed in pixels. For the Venture Media Group site, I'm going to change this to 1500 pixels across. And you can see that that drops us down from 8 megabytes to 3.25. And our image got quite a bit smaller. So let's go ahead and zoom back in on that. And you'll see that we've lost a bit of resolution as we zoom in. We start to see pixelation around some of the details here. To compensate for this, I like to go to Filter, Sharpen, and then Smart Sharpen. Smart Sharpen is a handy little utility to just give you that extra bit of pop on your images to really make them stand out online. And you can adjust both the amount and the radius. So I'm going to bring it to a level here that looks good. And you can turn the preview on and off and see what's going on with your image here on the left. So that looks good to me. Next, I'm going to bring up both the contrast and saturation, and both these options can be found under Image and Adjustments. First, let's select Brightness and Contrast. I'm only going to bring up the contrast 10 points since the contrast is already pretty high on this shot. Next, I'll go back to Image and Adjustments and click on Hue and Saturation. The saturation I'll go ahead and bring up by 20 points, and we'll notice that the image does start to look a bit oversaturated. The colors in his face are really out of the proper tonal range. So now we're ready to go to File and Save for Web. And look what happens when you click to Save for Web. It brings the saturation back down and brings our image into a nice range where the colors are still looking realistic. So we're sitting right at about 250K, 1/4 of a megabyte. We were sitting at 8 megabytes beforehand, so you see that we've come down quite a bit. So now we're ready to save our file, and normally you would put this in the folder that contains all the documents for your website. For the sake of this example, I'm just going to go ahead and save it to the desktop. So there you have it. That's all there is to saving your images for the web. Now you're ready to upload your content and get it online.